Can you hear me, people? Hopefully you can. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? What is going on with my computer today? Try and go live and it just tells me to go away. You can hear me, but you can't see me. Well, bonus. Okay, let's go. Yes, we have a funky new intro and it is awesome. Hopefully, let me just go check my settings, make sure my audio is coming through. That is correct. That is all good. My camera doesn't seem to want to pick itself up today, so we're just going to ignore it. Going to focus in on the code. So today we are going to be building a forum. Bit of fun, nothing too exciting. We're going to do some kind of GitHub authentication as well. Yeah, top of the range Mac Studio, and this is what happens. My camera constantly disconnects. So I pressed go live, and my monitor, which I use to control StreamYard to stream this, just crashed. It went completely blank, and I couldn't tell when things were going to happen. I think I need a new monitor. Just don't tell my wife. So we've got our sign in and sign up going on. We've got our GitHub link. If we come back to here, we have got our basic kind of thing, I guess we can call it. We're gonna zoom in a little bit, see if we can zoom in without it breaking. There we go. Little logo. We have a search bar, sign in, register, trending discussions being listed, topics, the usual sort of stuff you'd expect from a forum, I suppose. And what this does is it's a Laravel application. It is using Vue.js and Inertia. We've got our models set up. We got discussions. We got users. We got topics. We got posts, which we add to discussions. Got mentions, but I don't know how I'm going to work with those just yet. We're going to play around with that. But we're just doing some initial setup, getting everything working how we might want it today. So I've got Vite running. I am in my herd directory. I've got Laravel herd running. Here's herd. Everything is up and running. We are good. Let me just make sure I'm on a decent version of PHP. Yes, I am.
I know you're on YouTube, but I just thought you'd like to know. Your 2-year-old daughter had a wee on the floor and then proceeded to lay in it and try and swim.
Nice. Thank you. Much useful.
I hope your viewers enjoy the life of Steve.
The life of Steve. My 2-year-old daughter wheeled on the floor and tried to swim in it. Have kids. It's fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to hook up the GitHub authentication first off. That's like our first important thing, right? We want to be able to log in with GitHub. So let's have a quick look. Tell you what, we'll open up Warp. We'll full screen that. We'll go into herd and into the forum. And let's just have a look at the routes. So we have got auth GitHub redirect and auth GitHub callback. They have no logic in yet. I love that cat. That is fantastic. Okay, so let's come over to my resources, app, pages, auth, login, come down to our GitHubby thingy, and we are going to just hook this up. So You can say root auth GitHub redirect. And we're going to grab that, and we're probably going to just copy that to the register view down the bottom as well. It's kind of one and the same this way, isn't it? So there we go. So now if we go sign in, empty page, perfect. That's what we wanted. So now we can start to work on the logic for this. App HTTP controllers, auth, GitHub, redirect. So typically what the docs will tell you to do here is they will say to go return socialite driver GitHub redirect. And that makes this a redirect response. Just replace with alias Symphony redirect, and we're going to replace that one as a Laravel redirect. There we go. So we've got two options here. Is to go to, well, not really two options, two different potential types coming back. So socialite driver redirect. So what socialite will do is it will return the socialite manager, or the factory class for socialite. Socialite manager. Right, so that's kind of what I want to pull in. I want to pull in the socialite manager. I'm going to do this the Steve way. So public function construct. Thank you. So, geez, what am I doing? My typing's just got all winky donkey. Private, read only, socialite manager, done. So, at the moment, if I click on that, it takes me to here. But what we want it to do is the same thing, but using the manager. So this manager driver. This should do the same thing. And it does. So have you thought about Taylor's new street? Yeah, I have. I'm looking forward to testing it, if I'm completely honest. It should be fun. Definitely should be fun. So we've got a redirect going on. Next, we need to come and do the callback, basically. So let's just do that. And we can say that our user is this manager driver for GitHub get user. And we're just going to try and dump on the user for now. Okay, apparently I'm taking screenshots while I'm doing stuff. Okay, so GitHub. Do I want to authorize? Yes. No, just shoot. All right, so I've got stuff. What I want to be doing here is having some sort of kind of authentication servicey flow stuff. So this is a good question. I'm going to show it on the screen quick. What is the purpose of adding dependencies in the constructor instead of an invoke method? To me, the invoke method is what you use to call the request. That is passing through the request and any particular arguments. The constructor is dependencies of that class. In this case, for example, the manager from socialite. So for me, it makes a lot more sense to pull it in that way, and it just separates it nicely. Then you understand what is a class dependency and what is a request dependency. And that is the answer. But the answer I'm giving, that makes sense to me. It might not make sense to you. It might not work for you. The reason I'm not using the facade is because the facade will only go to the container to get out the socialite manager, that has been bound already, so I may as well inject it and save myself some hassle there, right? Quick sip of coffee, and let's get into this. So I'm going to create a service here. So services, we're going to create a GitHub service, public function. We are going to do a user create or update. We're going to pass in the user contract as a user and use this as a user contract because we want to be able to return a user model. So passing through the user contract there. And what we want to do is this is going to need to do some database work. So we will do a private read-only database manager. It's a database. And here we can just say return this database transaction. The callback is going to be using the user model. We're going to do a query and we're going to say update or create. The attributes we want to use is the provider being GitHub and the provider ID being the user get ID. Then the values that we're going to want to use to save are, we're going to want to save the name. So user get name. We're going to want to pass through the email. So user get email. The user name is going to be user get nickname, and the avatar is the user get avatar. There is an access token. So what we could probably do is just say user access token or null, and that hopefully should finish it. Hey, Alex is here. Hey, Alex. God, it's got to be early for you, hasn't it? Yeah, I don't mind facades when you need them. But when you know you're going to use a class, why use a facade when you have a constructor available, right? Oh, early morning with the baby. Enjoy that, Alex, and it's really good to have you here, mate. Right, so this is going to do a create or update on the user based on GitHub and the GitHub ID, basically. Then values we're going to pass, if we do need to create, is a name, email address, username, avatar, and access token if it is available. So, callback controller. What we're going to want to do here as well is say private GitHub service as the service. So we can grab that and we can just say that our user is actually my keyboard has gone wonky again. Come back. Right, okay, so here, this service, data update, the user is that. Then we can just do a quick kind of auth login using ID, where the ID is user key, return new redirect response, and we're going to redirect to take action for the index controller for the discussions. Let's just add that redirect response in there. So I will walk through what I've just done because I know I sometimes fly through things without explaining. Let me put on my fan because my office turns into a bit of a hot box as soon as I sit in it. So we have our service, which we just created. Let me just do that. When our service is created, we pull out Laravel's database manager. And what that allows us to do is to run transactions against the database. So that is the same as saying return VB transaction. It's the same thing, but I'm just not using the facade there. I love facades wherever it makes sense, but everything within here is going to need the database. So why keep spinning up the facade when I can inject it, save some memory and save some effort. So we're going to do a user update or create, passing through the two things that are identifiable for a user, which is they sign up through GitHub and their ID is that. You can't pass through that email because on GitHub, you can update your email. Then we just go through and add those details. If we find a user, we update their details. If we don't find a user, we use these details to create a new user, which will then return the user for me. What I would do is also say I want to attempt this twice, for example. If you fail the first time, maybe there's a lock, so try again. If that fails, then something went wrong. So we pass through the user from the socialite manager using the GitHub driver. Once we have that, we can log in using an ID. We say user, give us a key. I mean, you could just say ID there if you want to. It's not going to complain. I like to use get key where I can instead of ID, just in case I decide to switch from the ID to like a slug or username in the future. It's all just done through the model at that point. Okay. Finally, we return a redirect to the discussions index. Nice and simple, straightforward, and it should just work. Fingers crossed. So let's test. This may fail, actually. Let's test it. Let's test it. This is fun. Email. My email has already been taken. So what I'm going to do is just migrate fresh without the seed to make sure that it will work. And look, I'm in. Trending, that's cached. My bad. Currently no discussions or topics or anything. So yeah, I just do it my way, to be honest, Alex. It just makes it so much easier. I know I'm always going to need something like this. There's other things I'm going to want to do on the GitHub service eventually, because then I can go, okay, let's say I say public function, repos, bring access token. I can then do something with it, for example. It's all kind of contained within that context of integrating against GitHub itself. And obviously, Socialite does all of the hard work for us in terms of authenticating straight away. So that is that. This bit is now also done. Socialite manager is no longer needed. We can log in with GitHub and we are good. So what I'm going to do, however, is just do a migrate fresh and seed because I want a local user to make it quick and easy for me. You haven't used Socialite? Oh my God, it is amazing. Where is it? Laravel Socialite. There's so many drivers available. By default, it does Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google, GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, and Slack. But there's the community website where literally all of these are supported. So yeah, the options are fantastic. Thanks, Amstec. It's good to be back here. Issue with get key is where you have a compound primary key and it's not. Yes, I don't do that very often, so I don't need to worry about that. But good use case, Cat. Okay, so we have a user. This is me. This is a discussion I have created. It is trending because it's the only one, basically. If I sign in, I can just quickly say just steve@gmail.com and password, go. I'm in. I can come over to my settings. This is something I created earlier. Can I zoom out, make it less kind of ugly to look at? So this is default Laravel. This is default Laravel. This is something I just kind of whipped together. So, for example, I can change my username. It won't work. I don't know. There's many things I can do. I could go here and we could say, I don't know. Jutsu. There we go. That is my new avatar. Bam. It won't load properly because I've not finished it, but we're getting there. We're getting there. We're doing some fun. We're having some fun. So I'm getting my avatar by default from my authentication approach. Every time I authenticate, it's going to override that though. So just bear that in mind. I might look for a way to kind of work around that, but we'll see. What I can then do is, let's say, resources, pages, profile, edit. Okay, so ignore this must verify email because that's just annoying. Must verify email, let's drop that. Status, update profile information, avatar form, password. Okay, so this one, for example, VF. Let's just do a quick VF. The else if that's definitely not what I wanted. The VF. So if our, do we have our user already? We do not. So I'm just going to say const user equals food for me. Thank you. My wife just bought me food delivery. So I can say use page props auth.user. So if user dot, I don't know, provider not equal null. Check this out. Let's see if this is going to work. Awesome. So then if I just kind of migrate fresh and seeds, come back to here, continue with GitHub. Make fresh. I'm going to keep doing that, aren't I? I'm going to keep doing it. I can come back to here, settings, and update password I don't want to show. So let's just go make sure this can work. So view here, user, provider. If the provider ID is null, then display the password form. Otherwise, don't display the password form. I do want you to be able to update your profile information. And I'm probably going to add the same thing to the avatar form because we just wanted to kind of default and make it simple. There we go. There's your details if you are logged in with that. So we are in, we are good. Let me just kind of clear the cache. They will disappear. Perfect. So that is that part. What I'm going to do is look at a migrate seed. Let's get that back to where we want it. So these are cached currently. So the way this works is that in my app HTTP middleware handle inertia requests, I've got a few things going on. So auth user, if I am logged in, pass back the user resource for the request user, otherwise pass null. Topics. I'm doing a cache remember for topics for 2 hours, a list of topics. I mean, I could start to like filter those and do other things with them, but that'll maybe be later. So same with trending. Trending, cache time for 2 hours. Discussion resource, basically get all discussions with a user, order by, likes, limit 5 and get them. Just give me the top 5 discussions based on likes right now. And that's it. That is that part done. In your code, have you thought about the sensitive param attribute? Not yet. Not yet. So we have now got this. What we want to be able to do is we want to go through, like, let's say, click on a topic. We want to be able to go through and view all discussions. We want to see a list of these. We want to be able to create some ourselves once we've kind of signed up. So where should we start? Ideas, people watching. Have you got ideas what you'd think I should do first? What do you want to see first? We've done a quick social login, and we've cleared up that Laravel socialite is indeed fantastic. No questions about that one. Next up, let's say, I don't know. Let's just sign in. We're in. This is us. What else can we do quickly? We kind of want to have like a box up the top, right? Let's come to Tailwind UI and let's see what we can have. Text areas. Is this something like this? Maybe. Preview button. That's kind of cool, but we'll come back to maybe that. This with underline and actions. I don't want the actions, so we'll go for avatar and actions. Here we go. We're just going to grab this. Whoa, that's a big component. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to come to here. We're going to create a somewhat more vague component, I suppose. In the components UI, we've got our discussion card component, and what we're going to create next is a I will likely share the repo, yes. Why enums over carbon? Because it just works for me. No reason, cat. It works for me. Okay, so we want a start discussion.view. And for now, we're just going to copy this and drop this in. We do want to make sure that this is TypeScript so that we can come to here and we can export it. So import default as start discussion. And we can go there, close them off, and we can come down to our pages, discussions index. So what we've got is we've got a side nav, we've got a default, and we've got a sidebar. That is complaining about that, but that's okay. So default, recent discussions, and a list. What we're going to want to do is import. Have I imported anything? No. So I have down here, look. Now say start discussion down here. And go have a look at it. So it looks horrible, right? Terrible, terrible. Yeah, Tailwind UI is just like so great. So let's just kind of tweak it. What we're going to want to do is let's just do like a class base y is 6 is kind of like my default for this sort of thing. Just give it a little bit, but not too much. So this discussion here, what we want to do is just kind of play with it. We don't want any moods. We don't care about that. Also, I like to keep my template at the top. So let's go have a look and just kind of moods, transition, don't need. List box is add your moods. Don't really need that. Drop that. Select moods, not needed. Don't need that. Don't need any of that, and we're not going to be attaching anything either. So where are these attachments? Paperclip icon. Definitely don't need that either. So let's come back and have a look. There we go. We got something. Thanks for tuning in, Alex. Always good to see you. I would have done it in Svelte, but I really struggle with certain things with Svelte. So when I'm ready, I'll be spelting it up. So what we have got is, where's this? Blah, 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 lots of stuff. So screen reader only, add your comment. What we're going to do is call that start a discussion. That is also going to be replicated into here. So let's just go down here, name, ID, class, placeholder, and this. And we're just going to pop that in there as well. Image, what we're going to want to do is just kind of say const user is use page. Hey, what am I doing? Props auth dot user. So down here, we can just say this, and we're going to say this is a user. Here we're going to avatar for user.name. Cool, start discussion, all good, that's all that. That coming through, so now we can say const form equals use form. And we are going to have the discussion where we have the title. Let's bring. No, not TypeScript, so there you go. Title is a string. Name, title, title, text, yeah, no, that should be title, rows, blah, 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 start discussion. Is there like a max length? Yeah, 255, min length 2. Let's do some default validation on that one. And where it says post, we're just going to turn that into one that says create. Underneath the text area, we're going to just go input error. Go double check how we do those again. Input errors. Lots of cool stuff. Here we go. There we go. Grab that one. I'm just going to that errors and title. Awesome. So form action, not interested. We can just do a v on submit prevent submit. This is going to be const submit equals async form dot post to a specific route. Preserve state is going to be true, and preserve scroll is also going to be true. This route is going to be discussions 4. So I'm going to have to create that. Hey, Benjamin. So that's our submit form. It's just going to do some magic to allow us to submit. That's now going to just probably have an issue when we try and do anything. Yeah, discussion stored not in the root list. It's fine. I need to create that still. So keep that. We're going to style it more in a little bit. Let's just go and start creating these discussions.php. So at the minute, these are my only routes. What I want to do is root middleware. We're just going to wrap that in an auth middleware. We're going to prefix discussions as discussions, and we're going to group this path for routes web discussions. That's how I like to group my routes. So in here, I can now start this and say declare. We're going to have a root post. Want to simplify that. Name store. In our controllers, app controllers, discussions, we're going to create a new store controller, which is going to have a public function invoke where we get the request in, and that will do something in a little bit. So now we can do a store controller. What I'm going to do is say use that, so I can just put that main namespace in there. And there we go. Ooh, Steve BB, yeah, definitely. Right. Perfect. We are making progress. So, make a request. I'm going to create a web request for discussions. Store request. Over here, and change this to a store request. Pop that. Come over to here and start to clear this up. Declare strict types, make it final because I don't want it to be extended. Authorize its default true. And the title for the discussion is the main thing. So that is required. It should be a string, minimum length of 2 and a maximum length of 255 because it is a bar character. So let's just go check our discussion model. we want to be able to attach it to a topic. I am in love with Svelte. I just haven't figured out how to do everything I want in the Svelte yet, which is why I've not done it. So, okay. Start discussion. We've got this bit here. What we want to be able to do is, let's come back over to here. So this bit here, I almost like want that to be a drop down to select the discussion. So you can do that on the transition list box there. I'm just going to grab all of that. This box div, that, and grab that, and we're going to go see what we can do. Okay, so after this div, let's go double check the markup. We have a div flows. Okay, so let's just drop that there and see what happens. See what happens. Try it and see, in the words of the great Harry Hockin. We are going to want to grab this for now. That's going to grab it and we'll modify it the way we need to. I've really messed something up there, haven't I? Okay. Just going to copy that file and just replace it again. We didn't do too much. All of that. Move it to the top. And just start from here. So lang, TypeScript. That's all good. Here, and let's say, okay, cool. So const user equals use page auth user selected, lots of cool stuff. Use filament. I've tried. It doesn't allow me to do the things that I want to do all the time, so I don't use it directly. So that's okay. That's kind of cool. I can go, boop. I feel nothing. I'm dead inside. Pardon me. Okay, sorry, that's a bit dark. So we can get topics here. So we're going to do that. So const topics equals use page props. So what we're next going to do is create a form. Const form is use form, where our title there, const submit asynchronous request. I can say form.post to root store, and then we're going to say we want to preserve the state and preserve the scroll. Once that is done, it's like a on finish or on success, on before, on start, on progress. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that too much. I'll come back to that. So let's come over to our form and we can say again, we'll do the on submit dot event is submit. Label for comment, label for title. Start a discussion. Title. Down. Go down. Just a little visible. Yeah, I do apologize. I think that might be my internet connection. I might be trying to stream at too high a quality again. Recording should be fine, mate. Do apologize. There's that bit. JS components, UI. Okay, not ignoring that. It always does that to me. So it just doesn't like me. Doesn't like me. That's what it is. Right, let's drop down there, and we're just going to say title. And attach a file. We do not want to attach a file. What we do want is we want to say, and the icon we want to use at the minute is this smile face icon, which we don't want. So solid tag icon, maybe. Let's smile for a tag and let's see how it looks. Tag icon. I'm going to say attach a topic. Cool. So what we can then do is if so, blah, 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 transition. We're doing a loopity-loop. There we go. What we're going to do is I'm going to just kind of rewrite part of this. Say our list box option as teriyaki apparently template B for topic in topics. Key is topic.id. Value is topic.id. The slot is going to say active. A list box, and we can go li within there. Copy that bit. What we need. Live, and within here, we don't want an icon, we just want this. I'm going to say topic, I believe it's title. List box option, let's just comment that out and see what's going on. Cannot destructure property type of vnode as it is null. Ooh, what is going on? What is going on? That's template v4, vslot active. That is what is going on there. Cool. How do you work on a white screen at night? Just kind of do. So that bit is working. We can now go property boop. Topic title, choose a topic, select the name. Selected. Const selected. Where's selected coming into it? Model selected. Form dot topic is what I'm going to go for. If form topic is null, do that. If form topic is null, selected name. Screen read only component icon. If it's not null, then what we want to do is span class something or other. I don't know, I'm not very good at this front end stuff. Area hidden through, no. Maybe we'll do something like topics dot filter topic where the topic ID is equal to the form dot topic. We're just going to say like dot name dot title. I don't know if that will work. Title. Let's see. Let's just wait and see. Oh, we're obviously getting failure somewhere. How do you get this transparent window? Which transparent window frame? Sorry. Please do remind me. Laravel. So I select it. Let's go to view. Come to our. Actually, let's go to our form and make sure we're actually displaying it. Form topic is null as well. So now we can just go boop. Okay, props, setup, attributes. Where's our form? Where's that form gone? Oh, yeah. What's going on? Where's my form? Why is it not showing? Contact form, use form, stuff. Selected isn't being used. Tag icon. Okay, this is what I want to do. Ignore that. And now we've got a tag. We're going to ignore that. That says attach a topic. Let's just add a span in here quick and say test. And we're going to do it outside of that. Test. Flex, justify. Flex item center. Margin left 3. Make sure that's always going to be there. Space X 4. Okay. If I delete or to say v if topic form dot topic. What I want to do is say topics. We're going to filter the topics where the topic ID is the form.id. Form topic. My bad. And we're going to go for domain. Hey, we got it. And you can swap it and just, yeah. UI. I'm not a UI guy. I think everybody knows that. Okay, so relative. Yeah, okay, I'm just going to leave it as a bit glitchy because I don't front end much. Maybe someone can submit a PR and make it look less ugly. Let's just go through and remove this for the authenticated user. So now we can say user.avatar, and in our alt, we can just say avatar of user.name. Okay, start discussion. Post title field is required. Cool. So test post. Something happened. We did a post to there. So what we want to do next is actually handle that. So that's passing validation. We're just going to do we're going to do it in line because we're going to refactor this later. We're going to create where the title is request string title string, and the topic ID is request string topic string, and the user ID is something that I now need to do. So public function construct, again, using my constructor to its full advantage, private, read-only, authenticatable, auth. Now we can say this auth, get auth identifier, return new redirect response, the URL for index controller. Then going to return a redirect response. Testing. Okay, apparently the title field is required. What did I do? Title. That was title field is not passing over the title. Have I not hooked it up? I have not hooked it up. The model is form title. I need to do quickly here as well is say that topic is nullable. However, if we do have it, we want to say that it is a rule exists on the table topics using the column title or no ID because we're passing the ID. So there we go. Test. Values test, blah, 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 blah. On foreign key constraint failed. Topic ID is indeed required. Do we want that? Yes. Okay, so required. Come back over to here. How is list box. Just before it ends, we're just going to say topic. Post topic field is required. Post test. It is there. Okay, so what I want to do here is serve state is false. New test for Laravel post. Yes, we are getting there. Oh, the link to Treble is broken in your YouTube description. Ah, no, I will have a look at the fix. I do apologize. What is going on? What's going on? Save those changes. There we go. Hopefully that updates it. So, okay, these discussions need to be done in a different order. So if we go to the index controller, we want to say latest. New test, perfect. So we want to be able to like and comment and do all that sort of stuff later. But for now, we can start discussion, start tagging topics. I haven't figured out how to do the topics yet. I'll come back to that, I think. Trending, this is just kind of seeing all discussions. You only see that if you new discussion. I wonder what I can do with that. Well, I don't know. So, okay, we also want to be able to click on this and go kind of read all of the posts for it. So let's do that next. This is very much kind of making it up as I go along. So here is the discussion. It's an article div, which includes all of that stuff at the top, all of the stuff at the bottom. So maybe I can just turn this into an A. Perfect styling. No, it does not. Perfect. What we're going to want to do is say href that for now. Awesome. Do we want to add any sort of styling for like hover, shadow, maybe? Maybe not. No, we're not bothered about that. So we need to create a link for this. So we're going to have a root get for the go check discussion. Yeah, it's just an ID. So the ULID name go there. Discussion card. And what this would be a link, so it uses inertia magic. And our href, we're going to want this to be a route to discussions go props discussion ID. Why is that underlining? Okay, that's not a big deal right now. Click that, it'll go there, no action, perfect. So if I come over to discussions, I can go and create a Go controller, public function. I'm going to start with the invoke method, request string ULID. This is going to return a response. Use as inertia response. And I'm going to return this response render. The component I'm going to render is discussions show, and the props are going to be discussion query with posts topic user. Let's just drop this down. So we're going to say with all of those, find or fail is the ID of the ULID passed in. So make sure we've got that view discussions new show.view there. What am I doing? Rename. There we go. And what we need is okay. So we're going to start with a script setup. Language will be TypeScript. Let's start the template here. We're going to pull in the application layouts. Const props is define props. Prop that's going to be passed in is a discussion, which will be a discussion type. And now if I click, Have I not hooked that up? I haven't hooked it up, have I? Here we go. Show controller. Bang, we're there. So what we want to do is just kind of work on showing this. What we could probably do is come over to Tailwind. There's like a feed or something component which work nicely. Feeds. There we go. Lots of stuff like that. Maybe not like that though. Stack list. Listy listies. Listy listies. Lots of listies. Any of these useful? Show archived examples. Anything useful? Nothing useful yet. Okay, so we're just going to kind of wing it, I think. Discussion index, what we'll do is we're just going to kind of replicate the behavior for now. Both parts. And our template for the default is going to be something awesome. Let's go make sure we can see it. Why is that dying? Property page. Okay, so what I'm going to get, here we go. Comes page. Boom, something awesome. Trending. So what we want is basically the discussion card at the top. That's the first part. So this will have this sort of thing up here. Instead of all of that, we're going to have a discussion card there. Discussion is the props.discussion. And down here, we're going to have a list for the posts. What am I doing? Not using that. Enjoy your lunch break. Thank you for tuning in. What is it? It's causing the issue. Cannot read properties of undefined reading a string. Discussion card. Let's just comment that a minute. So that's going to be there. There's something's up with the discussion card. Props.discussion. Card created. So instead, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go have a look at that and see what it's doing. So it should have like views, blah, 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 blah. We're not passing it back correctly. So the show controller here, this discussion query needs to be in a new discussion resource where the resource is the query. There we go. We're getting somewhere. Come back to the show, uncomment that. Show it. Perfect. Got that. And what we'll do is recent discussions, posts there. We're going to have a same sort of thing as a start discussion is we're going to have an add post dot view. A lot of this will be extracted later, but for now, I'm just going to stick with this. We're not going to need any moods. We're not going to need topics. So we can come down to here. Just remove that. say, grab that, add post, add post. So now show, we're going to also pull in components UI, add post. But the first thing is going to be the add post. And we're going to have like a loop-a-de-loop here. We're not going to have a start discussion, but in this, what we'll have instead is drop in the image. Instead of start discussion, it's going to be add your thoughts. Thoughts. This will be content, content, content. Posts store. For now, I'll keep it at that. Cool. Post loop. We'll make it stand out in some way. Drop all of those. Don't need them. Components input error. That's fine. User. Submit. Add your thoughts. Content. That is how we want that to work, and that now needs to go to a new route. So make a request. For discussions, it's going to be posts. So in our controller, we're going to say directory posts for controller. Invoke. This is going to have a store request, the ULID for the discussion. Then we're going to do stuff. So come over to our store requests. Strict types, make it final because we don't want to extend it. That we need our content is required, and for now we're just going to say string because it is a text input. That allows us to do that. That's all good. Store request will now validate, and we're going to want to do something like a post query create, then we're going to return a new redirect URL action show controller. The arguments is ULID is the ULID. That returning a redirect response. That awesome. Create. Again, we need to pull in the user, public function, struct, private read-only, authenticatable auth. So host accepts content, user, discussion, sorted. Content is going to be best content to string. Discussion ID is going to be, actually, I might do it this way, model binding, because I kind of need it. at this point. And the user ID is this auth identifier. So you can create that post nice and easily. Do root model binding because it's going to make our lives so much easier. We just need to add this root now. So let's come down. We're going to add it in here. Root prefix. ID adds post. And we will group static function void root post name store, and we're going to say store controller use them. Store controller also our down here start discussion store add post. We can say discussions post store, and we are going to pass a prop to this. Const props equals define props, and the props that we're going to want is going to be the discussion as a string. There we go. So I can then just say props.discussion. Showing it, we want to say that our discussion is our discussion.id. Add your thoughts, blah, blah, blah. Here is a reply post and find variable ULID. Perfect. So we're getting somewhere. Where's ULID? Here we go. Discussion ID. So now what we've got to do is kind of loop over the replies here. And that will link it all together. Start discussion, new index, that's what we want. Item in. For item in discussion posts, post in is post.id. We're going to have a discussion card, and it's going to pass through post, well, post card, new file post card.view, which is going to be similar to this. There, find props, post ID, post user avatar, post username, post created, post, lots of posty posts. Content. And for now, I'm just going to drop all the likey stuff because I can't be bothered. Right, so now down here we can say import default as postcard, postcard, show this for a postcard, post, and just pull that into there. Got some death going on somewhere. ULID parameter is required for each discussions show. I'm just going to ignore that. And now I'm going to find that post created human. What is going on with that? So when we show, we're going discussion query, discussion resource, post resource collection, post collection, post created is a new date resource is this resource. Bang. Here's reply. Biddy boop. Another fair thing going in chronological order. Fantastic. Hour and a half, and we have a somewhat working thing going on. Yes, it looks ugly. Yes, it could be better, but we have some functionality and we can start working on the next episode. So my camera's still, pardon me, still not working, but I want to say thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like or comment. Make sure you subscribe to get notified for the next one. The next one is same time tomorrow. We're going to basically carry on with this. So make sure you join us. Thank you as always. Stay awesome, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Goodbye.